You know, for the YCS winning list, I'm not surprised by these ratios. I'm not surprised to see that Albion got the chance to see love in here. I'm not surprised to see that Brigand made its way in here as well. That's definitely something that I know a few people are looking at, considering as like a sub option for the deck was Brigand. But you know what? I understand consistently why this deck was able to perform and do well. We're going to pass it on over to those other deck lists now. Rob, why didn't you talk about the deck more? I've talked about 9 Albaz list today. You can cut me some slack on this one. Don't beg the 3% of you guys have not smashed the living crap out of that subscribe button. Smash it so we can get to 105,000. So the first list we actually have here is your, Tri-Brigade Branded list. Now, this won the Texas Regional. This had a 12th place showing at its very first event, and then I believe we had one other off showing for this deck out of, I think it was another YCS or something. It might have been another regional, but we've seen at least 3 showings that I've seen for this so far on our side of the TCG. I'm not sure about European events at that point in time. So this is the next documented case of this that I've seen so far, and of course you all gotta thank Verte Anaconda for allowing this deck to exist. All right, and then it's actually an interesting combination of things here. So we have 1 copy of Albion, the Shrouded Dragon, triple copies of Ash Blossom and Joyous Spring, triple copies of Didi Craw. We have 1 Fallen of Albaz, 2 Ghost Ogres with 2 Rescue Cats, triple copies of Froctal, triple Karis with triple Kit with the 1 copy of the Mercurier. Then we have triple copies of Nerval here. Then we have 2 copies of Brand Diffusion, 1 Called by the Grave, 1 Tenki with 1 copy Foolish Brill, 2 copies of Droplets, and then we have triple copies of Talents here. Talents getting the chance to see play is actually really, really nice. This card is busted. We have 1 Branded Sword, triple copies of Imperm, and 1 Revolt. Down here in the extra deck we have 2 Shurog, 1 Rugal, 1 Frigette, 1 copy of Barabroom, 1 Almirage with 1 Verte Anaconda, 1 Harvest Gengar, 1 D-Hark, 1 Appo, 1 Double Dragon Lords, 1 Axis Machine with 1 Mirjade, the 1 copy of Brigand, and 1 copy of Albion. So out here we have triple Space Rock, triple Cosmic Cyclone, 1 Harpy's Feather Duster, 2 Lightning Storm, triple Anti-Spell, and triple copies of Dimensional Barrier here, wrapping up a nice little take on the power of the meta. Next up here is Dragon Link. Alright, so first of all, I do say that this deck has lost a lot of its momentum, because it really has. Like, even though Dragon Link can still attempt to kind of keep up with the modern format and things, just current progression has bullied this deck to the ground. And I really do hope at some point here that we'll see Dragon Link reboot post Boral and Dragon. I kind of don't think it will gain all that much craze here. But alright, so we have 1 Absterrouter Dragon, triple copies of Ash Blossom and Joy Spring, 1 Black Dragon Collapse Serpent, triple copies of Black Metal Dragon, 1 Celestial with 1 Dasher, triple copies of Effect Veiler, triple copies of Ghost Bell in the Haunted Mansion, 2 Ghost Ogies, 1 Noctovision, triple copies of Gamma. We have 1 Red MD, we have 1 copy of Rocket Recharger, 2 copies of Rocket Synchron, 2 copies of Rocket Tracer with 1 Griffin Rider. We have triple Water Enchantress, 1 copy of Wyvern Buster. We have 1 Psyframe Driver. Then we have 1 Boot Sector Launch, 1 Call by the Grave, triple Chaos Space, 1 Dracoback, 1 Ravine, 1 Faithful Adventure, 1 Foolish Brill, triple Droplets with the 2 Fusion Destinies, 1 for 1 triple Quick Launch, triple copies of Right of Armesier, 2 Talents, and triple copies of Infinite Permanence. Down in the extra deck, we have 1 Triple Burst with 1 Striker Dragon, 1 Quad Boral, 1 Verte with 1 Nightmare Unicorn, 1 IP with 1 Heavenly Spheres, 1 Pisty with 1 Rom, 1 D-Arc with 1 Access. We have 1 Hot Red Dragon Archfiend, 1 Chaos Roar, 1 Borreload, and 1 copy of Destroy Phoenix Enforcer. So I think we have triple Nibiru, triple Cosmic Cyclone, triple Dark Ruler, triple Anti-Spell, yet again, the counterpoint to the meta here. And then we have triple copies of Evenly Matched here, wrapping up your take on Dragon Rulers. And like I said, out of like the biggest turning point decks out of the weekend, these are your most straightforward, I would say, big ones here. Next up is Swordsoul, double Talents. Actually main decking Evenly Matched. What a cluster pile of cards. Alright, so we have triple copies of Ash Blossom and Joy Spring, the 1 Despot 001, 1 Effect Veiler. We have triple copies of the Ghost Spell in the Haunted Mansion, triple copies of Incredible Ecclesia, triple copies of Mo Yi, 2 copies of Tai, triple copies of Long Yun, 2 copies of Ara Ara, triple copies of Ashuna, 1 copy of Synthana. I do love the fact that these decks do try to make use of the level 4 water extender for this deck. We have 2 copies of Vishuddha, 1 Called by the Grave, we have 2 Droplets, 1 Pod Dizizes, triple Swordsoul Emergence, 2 copies of the Talents, and 2 copies of Vessel. Also only 2 Vessel. It's very interesting. I know most of these decks were also pushing for 3 of these for the most part. Alright. We have triple Evenly and 1 Blackout. Down in the next deck, we have 1 Shaman with triple Monk, 1 Auroradon with 1 Hauk, 1 Yazi with 1 copy of Chengying, 1 Qingxing Long Yun, 2 copies of Chizao, 1 Draco Berserker with 1 Chaofeng, 1 Baxia, and 1 Baron de Fleur. Side deck here we have 2 copies of the Crow Machine, 2 Droll Lockbird, 2 Cosmic, 1 Harpy's Feather Duster, 2 Mystic Minds, triple Anti-Spell, and triple Dimensional Barrier here. Wrapping up the main deck, I just love the fact that you see like how the counters are beginning to form for Albaz. Next up here is another Swordsoul list. Now this is what I would consider standard for Swordsoul at this point in time. You know, you have the triple vessels in here, you have the rounded out things, and this build was like really interesting because it was playing the Night Beams in here, which I'm not really sure how I feel about that as a tech choice, but alright. So we have triple copies of Ash Blossom and Joy Spring, triple copies of Effect Veiler, we also have triple copies of Ghost Spell, triple Incredible Ecclesia, triple Mo Yi with only 1 Tai, we have triple copies of Long Yun, triple copies of Ara Ara, triple copies of Ashuna, triple copies of Vishuddha, 1 Called by the Grave with 1 Pot of Desires, triple copies of Swordsoul Merchants, triple Vessel, triple copies of Infinite Permanence, and 1 Blackout. Down in the next deck, we have 1 Shaman, triple copies of Monk, 1 Yazi with 1 Chengying, 1 copy of the Qing Long Yun, 2 Chizao, of course, 1 Draco Berserker, 1 Chaofeng, 2 copies of Baxia, 1 Baron de Fleur, and 1 Dragite, actually. Side deck here we have triple DD Crow, triple Gamma, 1 Driver, triple Cosmic Cyclone, the 2 Night Beam, and triple copies of Anti-Spell Fragrance here, wrapping up the main deck. For those of you who don't remember, this is just simply target 1 spell or trap card your opponent controls. That's set. Destroy that target. Your opponent cannot activate the targeted card in response to this card's activation. There's the whole, like, your opponent can chain onto this and then chain the set card at that point in time, was like your interaction points to get around this. The card's not, like, totally broken. Next up here was Praying Kids. Oh boy, so really straight out of the bat here, like 2 talents in the main, 1 on the side, zombie worlds in the side. We were pretty innovative here in terms of this build. So we have triple copies of Ash Blossom and Joy Spring, 1 Celestial with 1 Dasher, 2 copies of Effect Veiler, triple copies of Ghost Spell, 2 copies of Magician Souls, 2 blue, 2 green, 2 red, and 2 rock. Alright, we have 1 Griffin Rider, triple copies of Water Enchantress, 2 Illusion of Chaos with 1 Called by the Grave, 1 Draco Back, 2 Faithful Adventure with 1 Foolish Braille, triple Droplets, 2 Fusion Destinies, 1 Mystic Mind with 1 1-for-1. We have 1 Pandemonium, triple copies of Place, 1 copy of Pranks, triple copies of Red Over Mizir, 1 Set Rotation, 1 Terraforming, and 2 copies of the Talents. Extra deck here. We have 1 Celine with 1 Verte, 1 Meow Meow Mew, 1 Doodle Doop, 2 Doodle Doop, 1 Bow Wow Bork, 1 Link Karibo, 1 Link Spider, 1 Unicorn with 1 D-Hark, 1 Hauk, 1 Axis Machine with 1 Prank Kids Weather Washer, 1 Battle Butler, and 1 DPE. Side deck here we have triple Nibiru, triple Lightning Storm, 1 Mystic Mine with 1 Talents, triple copies of Twin Twisters, triple copies of Zombie World, and 1 copy of Red Reboot here, wrapping up our Praying Kids top cut list for you guys here. And the last list we have for this video here is Phantom Knights, actually. I'm glad to see this deck was able to do things. So we have 1 Scythe, triple Ash, the 1s here, 2 Crow, 1 Suchi with 1 Celestial, 1 Dasher, 2 Bells, 1 Ogre, the 1 Graph, 1 Junk Forward, 1 Foxy Tomb with 2 Ziamin, 1 Tracker, 1 Wielder, 1 Talcum Tumborg with 1 Terratop, 1 Ancient Cloak, 1 Cloven Helm, 1 Ragged Gloves, triple Silent Boots, 1 Torn Scales, 2 Scorn Scales, 3 Torn Scales, triple Tour Guide, 1 Called by the Grave, triple Cosmic, 2 Crossouts, triple E-Telly, 1 Foolish Barrel, triple Droplets, 2 Fusion Destinies, 1 Reborn, 1 Rhoda, 2 Talents, 2 Imperm, triple Fogblade, the 1 Wings, and the 1 Shade. Then we have 1 Rusty Tin Can, 1 Almirage, 1 Verte, 1 Link Spider, 1 Unicorn, 1 Dehark, 1 Cherubini, 1 Dagda, 1 Appa, 1 Access, 2 Breaksword, 1 Levier, 1 Zeus, and 1 DP. And then we have 2 Contact C, 2 copies of Spooky Dogwood, 2 Nibiru, 2 Twin Twisters, 2 Anti-Spells, 2 Dimensional Barrier, and triple copies of Evenly Matched here, wrapping up this chunk of deck profiles for you guys. What do you guys think about these lists? Please leave a comment down below. Tell me what you guys think. Make sure you guys smash the crap out of that subscribe button. See you guys on this out more awesome content. I'll see your beautiful faces back here later in the day, guys. Peace out. Patrons, thank you.
Thank you so much for watching. Check out these other videos.